Today we are going to go over how to bead straight lines. So here is what I'm looking at. I already did this side. We're going to go through these different sections, and they're all, I bead them a little bit different. So we're going to be working with 24K gold, size 13s and 15s for the edge. All right. We are just going to start off. I'm not going to show you how I start this because I already have a video about it, and if you want to look back, you can look at my Pellon video about how I, attach my templates to my Pellon, and also the 2-needle method. I'm doing this with 2 needles. So let's start with the gold. All right, and I'm going to bead just a little bit for each of the beginning of each line. Okay, that's good for now. Push that aside for a little bit. Okay, so I just barely put lotion on. My hands are really dry, so I'm hoping this doesn't mess me up too much. Let's move this light. Okay, so here is the thread that is holding the beads, and here is the thread that is going to be tacking down. It is one long continuous thread, so I just, tack it down and make an X. All right, so for here, we are going to start with the edge of the template. And eventually when we come back around, it'll meet up in this little corner right here. So here's this. It's already slipping. All right, and I go just along the template. And since this is the first line and I don't want it to move, we are going to bead it very close. So I'm going to use that original hole, and I'm tacking down every 2 beads for the first outline. Oh, it is already getting caught back here. See there, 6 beads in now, so every 2 beads. And that is just my preference. You can do every other bead if you want, every bead. If you do it like a little bit more, it does have the chance of kind of moving around a little bit more. I just find that 2 is the perfect number for me, because if I do 1, it's taken forever. And again, if it's more than that, it's not as secure for the first line anyway. Oh, it gets caught right there. Okay, and I'm going to finish this up on my own, and then we'll come back to here. All right, now we're at the end of the gold. I have about 5 beads left, if you can see that. So I'm going to tuck this in there. Okay. Since I want to corner it up, I'm going to go kind of close to the edge. pull that through. Okay, move that thread over. Okay, so there's the second to the last. And now the last stitch for the gold beads. Okay. Now we are done with the first one. And now we're going to do the second line. So if you can see straight, it's not going to budge much. So we're good to go. For this next one, I know I was going about this direction, but now we're actually going to go the opposite direction. Because I already started this one. This is the other side. And if you can see, the colors are moving in one way. And I want to mirror that on the other side. So here I'm going to start at that corner again, because I'm going to come back to this. I kind of want it to be fairly in the middle. Okay, I think that's going to be good. And for the middle line, I'm not too concerned about the placement, because it's the middle. There's going to be one on the inside and one on the outside, and I'll kind of show you what I mean by that. So with this, you don't want to push against these beads to move it, so make sure you have enough space when you tack it down. Okay, we'll go through that. Get a few of those beads. Okay, and I'm going to go through that again. Okay, so now that we have a sufficient amount, I'm going to do this side. For the first beads, or for the first time I'm tacking down on a new line, I like doing it either on the first bead or the second one. So right now we're going to do the second one. I usually stick with the second one, because when I come back in on this side and I have to stick the needles through, I don't just tack it down on the pellon itself, like after or right before the bead. I will stick the needle in this bead and then tack it down in between the two. And we'll go back to that in just a bit. Okay, so here's the first one. And on this, I'm not too concerned about tacking in the same hole I first started. So what I mean by that is, with this new hole, it's right on the side of the beads. So there we go. It's right on that side. And the best way I can describe it is we're going to like horseshoe that in. So it's going to hold in between on the side of the beads. And then, so now we're just going to put that in there on the other side. So I guess it's like a horseshoe, a staple, or, you know, anything that just kind of fits on the sides. This normally takes a lot less time, because, you know, you're not too concerned about the hole placement, but just to show you, I'm doing it a little bit slower. Move that over. Okay, I'm going to finish this up on my own again, and then we are going to meet back on this end. Alrighty, we're at the end of this now. So I have a few more beads left right here, and I'm going to attach it to the side. If you can see, I have a little tiny gap, not too bad, between the white and the black. So I need to fill that in. I'm going to push this through the white bead. Okay, now that that's there, and I'm going to tack this down now. Let's see, right in here. That right there. Okay, actually, since, ooh, that could have been bad, which is the perfect example of why I need to keep that shut. Holy cow, scared me. Okay, so my last stitch was between the red and the orange, so I am going to go in between the black and the white. Okay, and now I have about 6 beads left, and I need to kind of cover that up. So the black is actually going to be the middle. So how I do that is, instead of stitching between these 6, which is like 3, 3 on each side, I'm actually going to do every 2 beads until I finish that up. So in between the yellow and the orange, and the red and maroon. There we go. And because this is a corner and I don't necessarily want it to move around too much, because when I start beading the edge, it might push it and alter a little bit. So I'm going to again go in between the black and the maroon. So for this corner, it is stitched down almost every bead. There we go. Perfect. Okay, looks good to me. I'm good with that. Now we're going to switch it again. So we started with the gold from this side. With the colors, we went back, and then now with the black, I'm actually going to go on this side again, because that's like my default way to bead, and since I don't necessarily have to worry about the design on that, and we're just going to do a solid color, I'm not too worried about it. So I'm going to start on the opposite side. So here's my needle. I'm going to push that through, and I like doing the corner first, because when I end up on the straight line, it kind of just straightens it out for me. So there's that. And for the thread, you're going to want to go as close to the beads without actually getting in, like, under the beads. So, and this is for the outline. I'm going to end up cutting most of the pellon, the excess pellon off, so I don't want to get my thread close to the edge. I want to get it as far as I can without having to mess with the beadwork. Okay, so here's the matte black. Let's get that little guy. Okay, so we're going to start with the corner first. And I want to loosely do this. If you can see, my little hole is right there, and there's just a little bit of space, maybe like a millimeter. And I'm going to go in between the lines, so in between the last 2 lines. So right now it's the solid and the fire colors. So this, I'm going to start off with tacking every 2 down, and then when I get around here, I'm going to do 3. So if you need to see that better, here's the hole. Put it back through the same hole. Pull that through. Place this back down. And I'm only doing it this way because I just want to show you where the hole is. And now we pull that down. You want to pull it enough so it's not sticking out, but not too much that it digs in and pulls the thread, this thread inside. Okay, so that was the first 2 beads, and now we're going to go in between the 4th bead and the 5th bead. So there we go. In between that line, pull it out. Again, just to show you, go through that same hole. Pull it back. Okay. Oh, it's getting a little close. Okay. Oh. Okay, there we go. And maybe one more. Again, this is going to be after the 6th bead, so in between the black solid and the fire color. Okay. Push that through. Okay. And remember, with the tension on this thread that you're going to be tacking down with, don't pull it too tight. Because here's an example. If so here I normally will set it down like that, so I'm not sure if you can tell too much, but so right here is fairly straight, but if I pull it down even more, you see it starting to kind of pull the beads in, and I don't want that, so let's loosen that back up. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to do every 3 beads. Again, we'll kind of go slow so you can see. So I'll go through that original hole. And it ties it in there. Come on. Okay, there we go. If you pull too hard, don't worry about it too much. You can just kind of tug this straight, like straighten it, and it'll just kind of put it back in place. So, okay, and again, I'm going to finish this up on my own, and then we'll meet back at the end. All right, now we're at the very end. So, like before, I have about 5 beads left. Yep, there we go, 5 beads. And I'm going to go through that first bead again. So here it is, just like that. Pull that all the way through, line those up. And for this, I am going to tack this down in between the solid black and the colored beads. Okay, there we go. Oh, where is that? Getting them mixed up. Okay, there we go. Going in between that. See if that'll be a little bit better with the lighting. Stick that back under. Okay, remember light tension on this. Okay, one more. Okay, there's that last bead. Come on. Okay, there we go. Wonderful. Okay, so now that's done. I am going to anchor my thread. So let's push that through a few times. If you've seen my videos before, then you'll know I don't do knots on purpose. Sometimes a knot will appear if the thread gets caught somewhere along the beadwork. Okay, let's push that through. Okay, one more. Okay, I'm happy with that. There's one needle. Now let's do the second needle. Okay, one more for this side, and then we will flip it back down and go towards the middle. Okay, and one more. Okay. Let's get that needle out. It's kind of stuck in there. Okay. Oh. Grab my trusty scissors and clip. Maybe give yourself at least a centimeter. Okay, so here are those two pairs. Nice and straight. Pretty fun. I can't wait to finish these up. So fun. With the back, I'm going to end up putting the leather on the back and where all of these strands are. And that's kind of where I start and end my thread. So then eventually when I put on the backing, I glue it down. So then I put like a whole dab of like E6000 right here, and that holds the glue in place. It's strong enough to keep it in place and it won't move, but it's still pliable enough that if I ever need to go back and fix it, I can. I haven't had to do that yet, but actually I've done that once, and yeah, it's perfect. So fun! If you would like to watch more videos like this, please like, subscribe, comment, share on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. You can find me on TikTok under Shanoa Gale, and I will have plenty more videos to show you tips, different techniques, and just all around fun stuff. Thanks for watching. Bye.